If my garden could talk, it would say stop ripping out the plants and starting over.
We are in Georgia with a landscape that needs a little bit of love.
We brought in 6 garden designers and tons of First Editions plants to help make these garden dreams become a reality. Welcome back to Getting Dirty with First Editions. For Robbie's section of the landscape, he'll be working on the left side of the cabin. This large space gets a good amount of shade, but also gets sun in the late afternoon. Robbie will need to be strategic about the placement of the plants that he chooses so they can handle that changing sun pattern. Brian and Robbie will also need to collaborate on the walkway leading up to the front door to make sure their designs are cohesive. Let's go talk to Robbie.
My name is Robbie. I garden in Northern California, Zone 9A. I garden on a 1/4 acre little suburban lot. I've been gardening my entire life, but it was mostly vegetable gardening growing up. My style of garden is probably more like formal cottage or cottage formal. I like touches of formality throughout like a little cottage garden. I like things to be a little romantic. I like a lot of repetition throughout the garden. I break all the rules, so I like cottagey, but then I like little hints of like formality. Like I like a boxwood hedge. I like a spiral topiary. I like a formal bench. So I like little tiny touches of formality throughout the garden. It's a huge space. I'm actually really excited about it because most of my garden is very small spaces. So this will be really exciting to like be able to put a lot of depth into one full space. I will be able to do a lot over here that's like more shade plants. I don't have any deep shade in my garden, so this is going to be really, really exciting. I've got the wheels turning on some things that I can't grow in my own garden that I'm really excited to put in this space. I'm really excited about the fireplace. I think that that's going to be a really cool point. I was thinking about growing like some type of vine up there. I would love to do like some type of like wired lattice up it possibly. But I think like wisteria or jasmine or some type of vine. And I just think that the fireplace is a really huge like feature in the garden. So I want to highlight that a lot. I think this is going to be a tough competition for everyone else. I mean, they're going up a really big bed and, you know, there's a lot of power that I can put in this space. My favorite gardening tip is that rules don't matter. Break them all. If somebody tells you it's a rule, they're lying to you. My advice for new gardeners or anybody starting a project is don't be afraid to rip it out at all. You can take everything out, start all over. The plant that I want to gatekeep is probably a vitex, especially if you can multi-trunk it. I love a multi-trunk and limb it up. Take it from a shrub into a tree.
So when you got to this space, what were you thinking?
I was super overwhelmed. This is a very, very big space. And so I was trying to figure out how am I going to layer everything nicely so it doesn't just feel like it's stack.
And coming from your home garden, even though it's zone 9, this is zone 8, different sides of the country, different layout. How do you adapt approaching design in a different space like this?
It was kind of just like as I went. I was just placing things. I laid out every plant that I had. I kind of first put in the structure of the evergreen, and then I was able to just kind of like play around it. And that is where the garden started. And I was able to just kind of expand out from that. So it was a lot of fun just being able to like play.
How do you make some of those decisions in real time? What are the things you're thinking about?
I'm trying to think about height and flow throughout the garden. So I want there to be height in different spots throughout this bed, because this is one that you can walk all the way around. You see it from the porch, you see it from the front, you see it from the side, you see it from the back. And so I needed there to be height throughout, but not blocking everything. So it was just moving things and being like, okay, this plant's going to get huge, or this plant's going to get small. How do I make a ring around it?
One of the other things that I love about your space is that there's some really cool structural elements. You've got the stone coming up the fireplace, and then you put the ilex next to it. So talk a little bit about using structure to inform design.
I thought that I wanted to cover the fireplace with a vine a little bit, and once I started placing plants, I really loved the way that the chimney looks. I just thought it was like, okay, this is such a cool feature, but I still need something that plays off how tall it is, and I need some really good height back there. So throwing that holly in there kind of like helped give that little pop of color off of the white stone.
One of the things that I think is so beautiful about how you built this And even working around to Michelle's side of the garden is tying the plants together where people are spending time. So you've got the exit there and you've got the gardenia. So tell me a little bit about how you use fragrance or other like more unique elements like that in your design.
I did the star anise right by that back porch because I know it's got this really good fragrance and I wanted you to be able to really smell it. And then the gardenias I've got by the walkway because I know you're going to walk that path. So I really wanted to just kind of like hit you with smell.
So as you're designing, how do you think about seasonality?
That is huge for me. That's very, very important. I like there to be all seasons of interest. So in one section, I've got the viburnums, which will give me that very early bloom. And then below that, I've got the little haughty hydrangeas. That's going to give me the summer blooms. And then below that, I've got the gardenias. So there's always going to be something blooming, looking good. And then the viburnum will give me some fall color. The hydrangeas are going to give me some winter interest. The evergreen of the gardenia. So there's lots of thought that goes into all year round, not just, okay, everything is blooming all at once. Then you only get one show in the garden.
Tell me about the decision to use a container in the garden itself.
Brian and I, because our gardens are right next to each other, we needed containers that were next to each other and that looked cohesive. So Brian chose the containers and then we agreed on plants that were the same. So we've got one plant that matches in our gardens, so that plays off of each other.
Getting started, Robbie was excited to design a space that was much larger than he's used to working in. The depth of the garden presented a challenge, but Robbie tackled it by planting large groupings of shrubs like Easy Elegance All the Rage Rose and Little Spark Spirea to fill the space. He also made sure that his garden had layers and movement so that it didn't feel linear or stagnant. As his space can be seen from multiple angles, Robbie thought about his design from every viewpoint. Instead of adding shrubs in the foreground that could block sightlines, he planted straight and narrow Japanese holly near the chimney to add height to that back of the garden. To bring this large space together, Robbie used seasonality as his guide. He planted opening day viburnum for early season blooms, and then layered little haughty panicle hydrangea in front for summer interest. To round out his seasonality, he used sweet tea gardenia to add early spring fragrance and evergreen structure. For the walkway, Robbie wanted to make sure there's cohesion between his and Brian's spaces. To guide the eye towards the entrance, he shifted his color palette from mainly pinks and whites to green and burgundies along the walkway, echoing the colors Brian used. They finished their design with matching pots of lemon burst arborvitae for added height and impact.
The garden is done, and I loved it. It was a great experience. Hope that you guys enjoyed this. That's a wrap here. Volume.
Yeah, just, I mean, and an excitement too.
Yell.
Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.